All right. So 2 blocks if you have them and a strap. And if you take the time right now to put a loop in your strap, about that big. There we go. Yep, that's great. I see some of the loops coming up there. Great. And the invitation again is to, as we work with heart opening on this Thanksgiving Day, that either just a thought or something that you envision, or even touching your heart space to find the places of gratitude that are important to you today. And hopefully it's a practice that we can have every day. Yeah. All right, let's start on our backs. If you need a few minutes or so to just wiggle and take your own course of action here, you can do that. But we will together open up side line. And these are just good principles, physiological principles. So before we work in the front of the body, we're going to work the side of the body a little bit. So you could just take your legs into Tadasana and stretch your arms above your head so that the back of your hands are touching the floor, elbows straight or a little bend, but then pressing through one heel, releasing and pressing through the opposite heel. You can take a little stretch with the arms as well as you do that. Just move back and forth with this a few times, especially if you're practicing early in the morning, post a good night's sleep, where we get really sticky between the ribs, the intercostals. Great. And then take both feet over to the right. And here you could play with bringing the left ankle on top of the right, or the right ankle on top of the left, either way. And then sliding your arms over to the right and feel a little bit of elongation through the left side waist. And see if you can actively allow your left side ribs to float down towards the floor. Come back to center, take both feet over to the left and your arms over to the left, and you could drape your right ankle over your left or left over right, or just keep your feet stacked. And soften your right ribs down towards the floor. Great, come back to center. And now take the soles of your feet to the floor, as wide as the edge of your mat, and let your knees move softly side to side. And I would encourage here at this point in practice to go a little slowly with this, maybe even pausing with your knees in one direction to continue opening the side waist. At the very least, have one half of the breath cycle for bringing the knees up. That's usually the inhale, and the other half of the breath cycle for the knees over. Exhale. And then the next time your knees are over to the left, take your gaze over to your right hand, outstretched like a half a T here. Outstretched, turn your gaze over to your right hand. Inhale back to center, knees to the right, stretch your left hand long and take your gaze over to your left hand. Back to center. Good. So working with a lot of heart opening postures today, let's just start with a passive bridge pose. So take one of your blocks, press into your feet, lift your hips, and set the block right underneath your sacrum. And then here you could just tuck your shoulder blades underneath. Keep the back of your neck long here, but feel for some opening across the collarbones, chest. And you might even bring the hands to the heart or just bring your gaze into your heart here. Thinking about finding those bits of gratitude. Great, and it would be okay too here if you wanted to just press into your hips and lift and set your hips back down, make it a little more active if you want. We do need to open the thighs and the front of the hip for back bending as well. So if you want to lift here and draw your knees towards the short end of your mat, do that, or you can stay. We'll get some more front of the thigh opening for sure. And then everybody press your hips up, take the block out and roll over to one side, and we'll take half a bow. So take your top foot with your top hand and draw the knee back in space, feeling for some opening in the front of the leg, the front of the hip. Resting on your outstretched arm, or you could have your elbow bent and resting your head in your hand. Then just roll over to the other side. Take a half bow on the other side. And then from this position, just roll onto your belly. So take crocodile, stacking the hands, pressing your forehead on your hands, and just feel into the floor. So the pressure or the contact, object and subject, belly, heart space, resting on the earth. Feel your breath, feel your connection there. And then keep the hands where they are. And press into your elbows and lift. Press into your elbows and lift, and then lower. And repeat that, just a baby back bend. Repeat that 8, 10, 12 times. Press and lift. And here you might experiment with, as you lift, draw your navel away from the floor and your tailbone down towards your feet. So you really feel some nice length through your spine. So the spine is in an arcing shape versus a V shape where you're just lifting out of your lower back. Really draw your navel away from the floor and your tailbone down towards your feet. The next time you come down to the floor, release your arms alongside your body. Stretch your legs long, so stretch through your legs, and then lift your left leg, lift your head and shoulders, sweep your right arm out in front. And release. Forehead back to the floor. Lift your right leg, lift your head and shoulders, sweep your left arm out in front. And release back to the floor. Let's do that a couple more times. So we'll begin with the hands on the side. So lift your right leg and stretch it long. Lift your head and shoulders, sweep your left arm out in front. And release. Lift your left leg, reach it long. Lift your head and shoulders, sweep your right arm out in front. And release. Okay, let's go one more time on each side. Stretch your right leg long, lift your right leg, squeeze your buttocks, lift your head and shoulders, and reach your left arm out in front. And release. Left leg, head and shoulders, right arm. Release. Great. Set your forearms on the floor, press up to Sphinx. Draw your tailbone down towards your feet. Lift your navel away from the floor. And then take your right hand out to the right as far as possible so that you can sort of press and twist and look over your right shoulder. And bring your right arm back into place. Take your left arm out to the left, press, twist, look over your left shoulder. Come back to the starting position. And from here, then bring your hands to your low ribs, press up to table, and start to rock, hips back towards heels and forward. So you're in the table position and you're just rocking your body back and forth. And then find cow. And then press it round and find cat. Cow on the inhale and cat on the exhale. Next time you exhale, drop the elbows, bring your hips back towards your heels. You can have a blanket in between your heels and your hips. But let's walk the hands now over to the right. See if you can really keep the left hip down and heavy as hands are over to the right. So working again in the side waist, left side waist. One full breath here. Then walk your hands back to center. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Then drop the forearms. Bring your hips back towards your heels. Walk over to the left. Let your right hip be heavy, heavy. Back to center. Inhale to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Now in this down dog, find some cat-cow movement. Come back to starting position, bend your knees, shoot your hips up, 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 up. Press the back of your legs towards the space behind you. And then inhale, drop your knees, come to cow. Exhale, elbows to the floor, child's pose. Reach your arms as far forward as possible. Tense your fingers, rest your forehead on the floor. Take a few rounds of breath here. And then inhale, come back up to cow, cow. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up towards your hands and bending your knees, take your hands to your thighs or to your hips and press up to standing. Find Tadasana on your mat. And then take your feet wide. Slide the right arm down the right leg and just lean over that direction. Slide back up, left hand down the left leg, coming over to the left. Just a couple times with sliding down the thighs and leaning into one direction. And then the next time you slide the right hand down, take your left arm up and over. Come back, slide the left hand down the left leg, right arm up and over. And just continue that. Again, still working. Continuing to work in the lateral sheath, the side body, opening up. Add some of that stickiness in the side ribs. Once you've done an even number, come back, turn the right foot forward, step the left foot up and take a warrior one stance. So right foot, left foot's turned out, right foot is forward, and you can use the whole width of your mat here for this warrior one. Good. So we'll inhale and bring the arms apart, bend through the front knee, so heart open. Exhale, straighten the front leg, bring the hands together in front of you, tuck your chin. Inhale to open, and exhale, round and close. Inhale, open. Exhale, straighten the front leg, bring the hands together, and tuck your chin. You might even close your eyes there. So you test your balance a little bit. But we're just going, working with the shoulder girdle, opening the heart space. And the next time you open, bend through the front knee, stay here. Stay here. Lift the arms now overhead, bringing the palms together. And then exhale, fold as you bend the front leg. Bring your hands to your low back and bow into a humble warrior. Inhale as you bend through the front knee, sweep the arms up. Overhead, biceps by ears, palms together. Exhale, straighten the front leg and bow into a humble warrior shape. Hands at your low back. Inhale, bend through the front knee, sweep the arms up. And exhale, straighten the front leg, sweep the arms behind your back. Go one more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, bow into the humble warrior. Good. From here, release your hands down around your front foot. Step both feet back. Find the downward dog again. Inhale, drop your knees, come to cow. Exhale, forearms to the floor, child's pose. Inhale, come up to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. One more round. Inhale to cow. Exhale, forearms to the floor, hips back, child's pose. Inhale, find the cow. Exhale, turn toes under, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up towards your hands, bending your knees, hands to thighs or hips, press up to standing Tadasana. Interlace your hands behind your head, take a little wider stance. Inhale here, exhale, press your hands away, hip in the opposite direction, palms out. Inhale, hands come back behind your head. Exhale, press your hands away, hips in the opposite direction, palms out. Come back to center. Take a few rounds here. And then once you have done an even number, turn the left foot forward, right foot is back. Okay, and we find the warrior one on the other side. So right foot's turned out, use the whole mat here. On the inhale, you'll straighten the front leg and open the arms up into a nice open chested, like you're hitchhiking with both thumbs back kind of thing. And on the exhale, straighten the front leg, bring the hands together, tuck chin in, round the back. Inhale, sweep the arms open. They're parallel to the earth. Exhale, bring the hands together in front of your heart center, round your back, tuck your chin. Inhale and exhale. Next time you sweep your arms open, bring them now above your head, biceps by ears, palms facing one another. The front knee is bent. On the exhale, straighten the front leg, tuck your hands to your low back and bow. Inhale, bend through the front knee, sweep the arms up. Exhale, straighten the front leg, tuck your chin, bow, hands to your low back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, take a bow. Warrior shape. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold into yourself, tuck your hands at your low back. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Good, and now find your hands down the floor around the front foot. Scoot that foot back, find downward facing dog. Inhale, bring yourself forward to high Dandasana. And then lower your knees and come into a variation of upward facing dog. So draw the chest forward. Draw the chest forward. Good. And then turn your toes under. Come up off the floor. Press back. Downward facing dog. Let's try that one more time. We're just going to inhale, coming forward to the high plank, or high Dandasana. Then lower your knees, tops of your feet to the floor. Draw your chest forward as you pull back on your hands isometrically, finding upward facing dog. Good. From here, stay on your knees, press your hips back towards your heels. Reach your hands forward, tenting your fingers. So arms are active, hips back towards heels. Then just let your hands float back along the mat as you sweep yourself up onto your knees. Hands overhead. And exhale, release your hands down to your sides. So standing on your knees, turn your toes under. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, float your right hand down towards your right heel. Left hand just comes along for the ride. So it's kind of a back bend, side bend. Inhale, sweep arms back up. Exhale, left hand over to left heel, or in that direction. You might not make it all the way, that's fine. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, right hand to right heel. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, left hand to left heel. Inhale the hands back up and release your hands down to the mat, coming back to table. Take 3 rounds of cat-cow. Next time you find yourself in cow, stay there. Get all together here, and then turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Reach your right arm forward, so you're kind of in a off kilter position with the right arm forward. Legs are strong. Engage your kneecaps up. Then bring your right hand back to where you started. Reach your left hand forward. So just working again with the outer shoulder, then back to the center. Good. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Bend your knees deeply. Take hands to thighs or hands to hips and press up to standing. Find Tadasana. Find Tadasana. Good. From here, take a wide stance on your mat. Wide stance on the mat. Turn the left foot out and the right heel out. So it's sort of a warrior. If you dropped your front knee or bent your front knee, you'd be coming into a warrior 2 stance. Bring your hands to heart center in a prayer position. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend through the front knee as we pull our archer bow. Okay, so you kind of do that one time, and then as we press through the front leg and straighten, we'll bring our hands back to heart center. So the breath doesn't matter too much. You can decide which you want for inhale and which you want for exhale. So for me, it sort of makes sense that this is the inhale and I pull the bow and straighten the front leg. And then I exhale and come back. So as you bend through the front knee, you reach the same arm, the left arm out, and you're kind of pulling back this right arm and opening through the collarbone here, like you're pulling a bowstring. And then press the front leg straight, bring your hands to heart center. Now you could create a nice metaphor here, opening up through the heart and pulling and releasing something of the heart into the world. We all have our gifts that we share. So not only do we have practice a practice of gratitude, but we are part of someone else's practice of gratitude for our gifts that we share, right? Good. And the last time you bend through the front knee and pull your bow, go ahead and open that right arm all the way up to a T. So you're now in a full warrior two pose, and then turn your palms up to receive all the gifts that we receive from earth, from friends, from family. Inhale, straighten the front leg, bring both hands over head, touching palms. Turn your left foot now so that both feet are parallel to one another. You can let your hands float through heart center and turn the right foot now out. Left heel out. Find the warrior two on this side with the front knee bent. Hands are at heart center. And then let's find the bow here. So we'll pull the bowstring back. Right arm is extended, right knee is bent. Good. And then you'll straighten the front leg, bring hands back to heart center. So release the bow, bending through the front knee and pulling the string back. So this left arm, you really opening this side of the shoulder. Okay, then you come back to center, hands together in prayer. All right, so on your own, a few of these, thinking about what you give out, what you shoot out into the world, and perhaps what you experience others giving you. Upper body stays nice and tall, coming right out of the hips. So there's even if you come deeper into that front leg, sinking the front hip, keep your upper body reaching out of the hips. The next time you've got your archer arms and your front leg bent, go ahead and take both arms out into a T. Find that strong warrior two pose, then turn your palms up. Let everything drop into you. Receive, receive, receive. Good. Inhale, straighten the front leg, both arms up overhead, both feet parallel to one another, and then let yourself, hands float through center, down to your sides, heel toe or jump your feet together. And then from here, with arms down at the sides, palms forward, take your gaze up and take any amount of a back bend here, just a standing back bend here. With the arms down at your sides now, sweep the arms up and slowly fold, hands to heart center, hands to the floor, step or jump back, downward facing dog. Well done. Good. Inhale, knees to the floor, cow. Exhale, forearms to the floor, hips back, child's pose. Inhale, back up to cow. Exhale, turn toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale, knees to the floor, cow. Exhale, forearms first, then hips back to heels, child's pose. Cow, downward facing dog. And walk your feet up towards your hands, bend through your knees, press yourself into chair. Okay, so find yourself, hips are back, arms are forward, or on the thighs, or biceps by ears. Then slowly press up to standing. Take your time. Hook your thumbs, and take a side bend in one direction, opposite direction. Switch the hook of your thumbs, take the funny grip, and one more time in each direction. Then release your hands down to your sides. We're going to come into a little bit of a heart opening balance. So let's work with the balance first. So let's take the weight into our right foot and take your left foot with your left hand. Okay, now this could be the work for you, just right here, just really establishing your balance. If you feel pretty good, extend the right arm up by your ear and then just kind of lean over, press back up to standing. Lean over and press back up to standing. Take about 5 or 6. And you know, the distance that you lean is just where your balance is today. Once you've done that side, you can shake your legs out. Sometimes it helps to get off your mat. If you've got a mat on top of carpet, you got a lot of, it's just a little bit harder to balance. But let's put weight in the left foot now, and we'll try the other side. So take your right foot. Just stay here as long as you need. Then the left arm comes up beside the left ear, and there's a little tipping forward and back up to standing. Really good for the feet, the ankles. Once you've done 5 or 6 on that side, you can walk around your space, bounce your heels, do a sun salutation. We're going to set up for Nata Rajasana, the dancer pose. We're gonna use the strap to help us find this pose. So you need a loop in your strap so you can capture your foot. Okay, so let's try it. Remove my mat out of the way. And take left foot, let's put the weight in our left foot, and you'll take the strap, the loop around your right foot, and take the strap with both hands behind your back. Now this could be just fine. This could be enough for you. Heart is open here. And if you can lift your gaze, then if you could start to extend the back foot out, keeping the tension between the foot and the strap pretty even. So you're pushing with your foot into the loop and you're pulling with the strap. Maybe you can walk your hands down the strap. Woo. Work. I'm like scooting in my space. If you fall out, just start over. Or we could take the second side. We'll practice a couple times on each side. All right, so the weight is in your standing leg, and you're gonna hook the other foot. This may be your balance challenge for today, just hooking the foot. And then you take the strap in both hands behind your back. And that could be your challenge right there. If you can tilt forward, just like we did in the little exercise before this, press your foot into the strap and pull against your foot with the strap. So there's opposite and opposing forces going on. And then as you tilt forward, perhaps you can, I'm scooting back the other way now, you can pull your hands a little closer towards your foot. Press and balance, engage your core here. And then see if you can relax a little bit. Just relax into it. Have fun with it. Release. Very good. Shake it out. Bounce your heels. Everybody's smiling, having fun, grateful for 2 legs. If you're working with 2 legs today. Yeah? Okay, where did we start? Left foot. Let's try one more time on each side. So you could hook the foot while you're standing here. On foot. Get in there. Yeah. You could hook the foot first while you're standing. Why that was harder. And then come to balance. Take that foot behind. It's hard to kind of get, you really want it on the kind of the ball of your foot. And then fold or lean into. Yeah. So the best place for the hook is on the ball of your foot. Mine keeps sliding to the sole. Press your foot into the strap and pull with the strap. And wherever you are, if you're just standing right now with the foot hooked, great. You could also be doing all that with a hand, the opposite hand forward on a piece of furniture or a chair. Totally working the pose in whatever way allows you to get some heart opening. Okay, let's go to the second side. And again, we know that balance is different every day. I want to beat ourselves up about balance. Put your weight into the opposite foot now and back to the right side. I know my balance is a little bit better on my right side. So I'm finding myself steady, and then I can lean forward, opening my heart, press my foot into the loop, and pull with the strap against my foot. For 3, 2, 1, release. Great. Take your straps, head over to the side, shake, dance, do a little dance party all through your fascial system. Bounce the heels, get a little movement going there. The static things can be really hard, and then come to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale, fold, bring your hands behind your back. Bend your knees, fold in. So you're kind of in a chair shape. Inhale, sweep up, stand up, arms above your head. Take a gaze at your thumbs if that feels okay. Exhale, fold slowly, take your hands behind your back. Bend your knees, tuck your chin. Inhale, sweep the arms up, facing one another. Take a gaze at your thumbs if you can. And exhale, this time as you fold, hands to the mat, step or jump back to the downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, high Dandasana. Exhale, drop your knees, tops of your feet. Draw yourself forward. in a variation of upward facing dog. And then from this upward facing dog, go ahead and come all the way down to the floor. All the way down to the floor. Bring your right arm out to the right and press with your left hand. Slide your right hand over and press yourself up into a little twist. And then release. Then slide your left arm long. Press with your right hand and twist. This is opening the front of the shoulders. Come back to center. Release your forehead to the floor. Interlace your fingers at your low back or take opposite wrist with opposite elbow. Press your pubic bone firmly into the floor. Engage your navel up and in and draw your tailbone down towards your feet. Lift off the floor and take your arms off your back as much as possible. Okay, so this really gets the heart rate up. So when we settle back to the mat, I want you to look inside and ponder what really matters. What really is a fire on fire in your heart. What really matters to you. So resting back down, turn one cheek. Feel the pump of your heart, the beat of your heart, the fire in your heart. We'll do it again. So forehead to the floor, opposite wrist to elbow or opposite interlace of the hands. Really get all that length in your spine by drawing your navel away from the floor, tailbone down towards your feet. Lift the arms off the back. Press shoulders to blades together. Keep lifting, tops of the feet to the floor, pressing, lifting, and then opposite cheek. Feel the fire in your heart. Feel the fire in your heart. What is important to you? Great. Then from here, head back to center. Make a little pillow with your hands. Reach your feet up, so bend your knees, and then just a nice, gentle rocking of the feet back and forth. Here, just sliding one arm under, we'll come back over onto our back side. Coming back to a couple things we started with. So press up and take the block underneath your sacrum and find a more passive bridge or relaxed bridge. Open the palms up towards the ceiling. Tuck your shoulder blades under. So your whole shoulder blade is on the floor. Alternatively, you could come up into a strong bridge without the block, tucking your arms underneath, lifting your heart, lifting your legs, lifting your hips, and drawing your knees towards the short end of your mat. You can choose either variation. And maybe you can touch your heart, find some deep gratitude. If you're in a strong bridge, you can roll out, taking your arms alongside your body or up towards the ceiling to roll out one vertebra at a time. If you're resting on the block, take the block out, come back to the mat, everybody, going back and forth with the knees side to side. And maybe I like here to roll back onto my side and take another stretch of the front of my thigh. I can incorporate that as I rock back and forth. So the knees come over and I just roll onto my side and take that quad stretch. And from here, let's come into knees to the left, deep twist. So knees to the left hand on top of the right thigh, reach the right arm over and see if you can soften your right side down to the floor. Scoop your belly to the right. Scoop the belly to the right so it's not completely passive. There's some action in the core. Sweep the right knee up, come over to the right with the knees, right hand on top of left thigh, reach the left hand away. See if you can soften anything on the left side down to the floor as you scoop your belly to the right, to the left, sorry. Scoop your belly to the left. Knees are over to the right. And inhale back to center here. You might like a happy baby, softening through your low back. So there's work when we open the front of the body, there's work, a lot of work in the back of the body, right? And those two parts of ourselves definitely have strong metaphorical considerations as well. The back of the body is often unseen. We don't always know or acknowledge what has been in our past that sometimes closes the heart down. So now you can release maybe a few cat cows or pelvic tilts if you've got any kind of stress or holding in your low back. But find your way towards Shavasana in a way that feels nice to you, perhaps going back to those long stretches where we started with the legs in Tadasana. Maybe just a pendiculation where you take a yawn and let everything sort of unfold. And as always, Tadasana, Shavasana can be taken with your legs up on a piece of furniture. It really feels nice to come into this, or legs up against a wall. Take time to cover up with a blanket or jacket or whatever you need. Just begin to return to resting on the earth, being supported by the earth, the vibration of the earth, the stability of the earth. Supported by those around you that love you. And now here, there's no effort needed. No effort needed. Only receiving and letting go.
Hands to heart. Thanks for reminding us, friends, about having gratitude daily. As we move forward, offering our gifts to the world, even as we receive them. Namaste.